Hello again, welcome to today's attempt at the Fibble puzzle. This is Wordle, but there's a liar in every row. So maybe the S is lying, but if it is, should it be grey or yellow instead? Or maybe the H, E, E or N is the one that's lying. The only way to find out is to play. It's auto-populated this first guess. It's been pretty helpful, hasn't it? We've got 3 letters that are not grey. So even if one of them's lying, that means we've got at least 2 correct letters. I'm going to start just by assuming that the N is the liar, just because the S and the E are slightly more common letters. So let's try screw and see if we learn anything useful. We do learn something useful. The S has changed colour, so that's got to be lying on one row or the other. And that, in particular, means that the E is telling the truth, because it can't be lying twice. So, I'm going to go back on my theory. It's more likely that we've guessed wrong letters than correct letters. So let's assume that the S is the liar here. And we're probably going to have an ER ending, aren't we? That's fairly common. So that would mean we've got to use the N somewhere as well. So how about we try under? Oh. If the N is if the R is lying here, what on earth is this word going to be? I don't think that works. So maybe that means that the R is not the liar on this row. If that's the case, then that means that the C or the W is lying. And I think it also means that the D is likely to be lying here. But how are we going to get this to work? We've got to fit in a W or a C. It's probably going to be in the middle. But it can't be unwed, because then the U would be lying as well. It can't be owned, because then the N and the D would be lying. What else? If the N is lying instead, then it's going to have to be first, and I don't think we're going to be able to fit in a C or a W there either. So I do think it's more likely that the D is lying, but I'm wondering if we need to review one of my other assumptions. Maybe the N is lying here, and we do actually just have an S instead. Does that work better? Then we've got S blank, D E blank. Sided would work. It's a pretty thin target to be shooting for though, isn't it? But it is a possibility, so let's just test it. Rule it out. Oh goodness. What has that told us? Has it told us we were correct about the S? If we're correct about the S and the N, then that still means that we've got a D here, which means that this would be the liar. Then the second letter is going to have to be a vowel, so it's got to be an A or an O. S-A-D-E blank or S-O-D-E blank. What on earth works with the letters I've got left? I'm just not sure there is anything that works, which means that something is wrong, but I just really don't know what. It's just far more likely that we don't have a D. If we don't have a D, then that means something else has to be lying here. And in fact, it has to be the I. We just don't know if it's yellow or green. So that means we've got to use S-N-I-E or S-I-N-E. But it can't be sinew, because then there'd be 2 liars on this row. So what on earth is going on? I mean, it could just be signs, but that feels super unlikely. The other option is something like that, which also feels unlikely. But then how else are we going to just fit in a liar? I'm not sure we can. Let's go back to my other assumption about the S not being in the word. But then we still need to solve the problem here. There has to be a liar on row 2, which would mean we have to use C, R or W. And it's just not going to fit. Especially now that we know that the N is second. If the S is the liar, that means there's no D, which means that the D is definitely lying here. We have to use the C or the W. It's just not going to fit, is it? If we've got a W, then it would be something N, something EW. And that first letter's probably an A, but it's not going to work. Or an O, and it's not going to work. And if it's the C instead, then I suppose we're in a similar situation. I mean, it could have been incel before that last guess, but if there's an I, there can't be an S. No, if there's an I, there's got to be an S as well. Oh dear, what is going on? I'm so confused. I can't see how that can work. The only thing I've thought of so far that is even a possibility is signs. I don't think it's going to be correct, but surely this will clear up one of the possibilities, because I still don't even know if there's an S. Right, good news. The E is lying. So that means there's definitely an S and there's an N, but the S is in the word and it's not first. Oh, it messes with my head when that happens. This S is lying, but it's not lying because it's not in the word, it's lying because it should be yellow. Oh, that is a head thumper. Okay, so there's definitely no D in the word, so that's the liar on that row. There is an S, so that's the liar on that row. So now we know for certain what all the liars are. And all we've learnt is that there's an N in second. There's got to be an S in third, actually, because this S is grey. And this S is yellow, so there can't be an S in fifth, otherwise they'd both be lying. So it's got to be blank N S E blank. Onset. Oh, onset is going to be the word. Wow, that was a terrible performance, wasn't it? I got so confused by those S's and N's. But we got it in the end. I mean, it only took me 5 guesses. That's not actually that bad. It just took me so long to think. I was confusing myself all over with those possibilities, wasn't I? I just did not think that the S might be somewhere else in the word. Very careless. Well done if you solved that quicker than I did. I'm sure you did. That is Fibble. At least we got there in the end. Thank you for watching and bye for now.